and I go into the right column, and I select one variable statistics, give you a menu that you must supply information to. So that's the difference between the 83 and the 84 visually, from our standpoint. If you got the old school, you have to type in more things. If you got the new school, you type them in up here. So it wants to know, where did you put the list of information, and what list is it in? And that's going to force you to call up a particular list. Now notice it's locked into the alpha phase in the problem. Doesn't really make a difference there. It shouldn't be locked into the alpha, because I should be able to get, I shouldn't be in the alpha, I must hit the alpha key by accident. It should be giving me something like that. So if I want to get access to a list, we're right back down to list 1, list 2, list 3, list 4, list 5, list 6. It was supposed to do an autofocus, and it did do a real good job of that, okay? So you'll have to tell it what list you want to address in the problem. There is no default. If that's empty, the calculator will roll over and die. If you don't put something on that list, if you clear off what's on that list and try to scan, I'm pressing the arrow key here, but the arrow, it ain't going anywhere. It demands something on that list, okay? So I can't do anything unless I put something on that list. So I have 2nd and 1 on this list. I don't know if I got any information in number 1. Now it wants to know a frequency list. I'm going to make this as simple as I can. We don't ever do 2 lists at one time in this class. So nothing ever goes on frequency list. It's blank. I thought you said the calculator would scroll. Yeah, it will. It will on that, but not on the ingredient list. And then you have calculate. So what's going to happen when you hit this is it's going to say, oh, they wanted me to do that command. It will flash on your screen very briefly, and it will tack list 1 on the end of it like my calculator overhead is doing, and then it will automatically launch the program and dump results for you. Did you see the short second that you saw a list command at the top of the screen? If you didn't, then we'll try it again. Stat, calculate, 1 variable statistics, and I go to calculate. Watch quickly up here for a fraction of a second. Don't blink. Did you see the command that was up there at the top of the screen? Okay, so that's executing, that's cutting and pasting what I'm having to do by hand, and then launching the calculate operation immediately. If I do it on my calculator, I have to tell it what list I want to go get. If I don't tell it what list to go get, it will automatically default to list number 1. If you always put your information on list number 1, you're going to be safe. But if you put it someplace else, your responsibility is to tell it where it is. Now, I have no information in my list number 1. So if I press enter right now, the calculator says invalid dimension. Invalid dimension to a calculator means there's not anything in the list. So I can again say, the hell with this, I quit, or go to. And now it didn't take me exactly where I needed to be, but there was an invalid dimension, which means that I didn't tell it what list I was supposed to have. If I tell it my calculator information is in list number 2, so I would have to do 2nd and 2 to the back of this for it to be able to do the information. Now there's my summary statistics. So let's talk about what goes on in this screen now. In this screen, we see a lot of information on the first screen, and notice quickly that there's an arrow next to this end, a down arrow. Anytime you see a down arrow next to the last item on the screen, it means there's another screen of information. Maybe 2 more, maybe 3 more, depends upon what function you're doing. But for our purposes, just 2. On this screen, look at the very first thing it gave us after it told us we ran 1 variable statistics. What's that say? X bar equals 20.5. And X bar represents mean. So the calculator now just took those numbers that I had typed in, added them together for me behind the scenes, counted the number of items that it had added, and did the division problem for me. It counted and added together all the values that were on the screen, and when it did that, it came up with 246. It shows you what that total was. You don't need to know that. Somebody else using this for a different class might need to know that. It took this 246, it divided by 12, and that's how I got the 20.5. It also gives you this, summation of x squared. And you're probably thinking, why the hell would I ever want to square those values? This is used for a lot more things than we're going to use it for. The next 2 things, S of x and sigma, looks like a little squiggly O, not a great O in there. That's the lowercase Greek letter sigma. These two are values of measure of dispersion. We talk about those on Wednesday. We're not ready to talk about those today. And then it gives us n. If you haven't pressed any key on this keyboard, then you're able to use your arrow keys to scroll up and down, both the 83s and the 84s. Press any key, you got to rerun the one variable statistics to initiate or to reinstall the ability to be able to scroll. So I can scroll down now on this screen. And when I scroll down, I get a second sheet of information which is going to be important to us as well. This is called the 5-number summary. It tells me what the smallest value in my data list was. And I know you're thinking, but the data list was already sorted. Why do I need to know that? Because the calculator doesn't care if you sorted or not. So if you get a 50-piece list of data and you're looking for the minimum value, you may not want to play hide and go seek. I have bad memories of playing hide and go seek with my 6 sisters. When I would hide, they would never come find me. It was not a good thing. Son would go down, Mom would say, "Where's Dave?" And Dave was still hiding in a tree because you thought he had a good hiding place. Well, I also thought it was my mom's favorite son for the longest time, until I figured out that I was her only son. Okay. Minimum value, maximum value, median value. So we found the median for me, and it would not make a difference if the data that I put in was in sorted order or not. Behind the scenes, it also would have arranged it. It's not going to change the way it displays, but it would rearrange it in memory and find the middle value. So this, I think, is what a deal. It's going to do all the work for me. All I have to do is fathom what they're asking me to do and answer the questions. Now, some of these values are decimal values, and as decimal values, they will tell you how many decimal places they want you to keep. Not always going to get nice whole numbers, but they will tell you what they want you to keep. Don't round off unless they tell you to round off. So if you come up with a median value, for example, it's 20.55, and you think, I only want 1 decimal place. They didn't tell you they wanted 1 decimal place, and you put all the decimal places that are sitting there. Okay? So there's the care and keeping of your calculator. How to be able to play nicely with the calculator. Now, you're on your home screen at this particular point in time, and because you're on your home screen, you can do anything you want. So if you hit the clear key, it clears off that information. But it doesn't touch the list at all. If you're not careful with your data, the calculator will calculate and it will give you information, but it's going to be garbage. So you need to be careful about making sure you double check your data entry values in there. So in this problem, let's go back and look at the second problem.